All right, guys, we're out here working the shop again. Hoff is off today. Yesterday was his birthday, so he's probably sleeping off a hangover right now. But me and Darren are out here working on the Mustang. He's sitting in there burning in the floor plates. Get over here so you guys can see a little bit better. There he is, just pounding his knees right into the most uncomfortable spot. There we gotta weld our 6x6 plates down there to the floor. It's actually really a pain in the ass in this car because the floor pans are so thin. You're welding an 1/8 inch thick plate to it, so it's really a pain in the butt. So he's really working there. What do you need?
You got a ball bean hammer?
No.
What?
I got a sledgehammer hammer. There you go. So that's where we're at right now. We're working on getting our 6x6 plates welded to the floor pan. All these unibody cars, every single mounting point for the roll cage needs to be welded to a 6x6 1/8 inch thick plate or a 6x6 equivalent. So you can get like 2 6x3s and weld them onto the rockers or like the back support. I'll show you guys here in a minute once we get to that point. But that's where we're at today. Just kind of working through this thing. We got the back bars in already, the main hoop, halo, and the A and B pillars. We still got to do our harness bar, D bars, and the door bars. And we also got to do the swing outs, which I don't know if we'll get to that part today. It's a lot of work needs to be done yet. But really thankful to have Darren out here. He's out here working away. So I'll put this camera down and give him a hand. See what he's doing here is we have these plates all welded in. We're welding this down bar into there. Right, like so. All right, guys, a bit of an update. We got our door bars in, harness bars in place. We're still working on our D bars. Darren is over there tagging away.
Very nice.
We battled getting these damn things welded to the floors, but it is done. It is stuck. It is ugly. I don't care. But here we are getting to the fun stuff now. They're just working away. So yeah, we'll update you guys when we get a little bit further. Okay, guys, some great progress has been made today. So we basically have about all of our bars in, except we gotta put our D bars in yet. But our door bars are done. Everything else is fully welded down there, except we gotta figure out how we're gonna get to the back side of this bar. I do know that if you can't fully weld a joint, you can add a gusset and you can weld 3/4 of the way around the joint and be okay. So options we're gonna have to explore, because that is a tight fit down there and we're probably not gonna fit TIG torch in there unless I get a micro torch, which I might do. I haven't made up my mind yet. But our harness bars in, door bars, main hoop, everything's fully welded to the floor. We got our seat in place. Things all done up there. Walk around here. Now, this has been quite the project, man. It's been very exhausting. I really underestimated the task at hand. This is our second full day, and I've been working on this thing throughout the week. But we're in our bar here. So we gotta make up our mind what we're gonna do with these. These ones are D bars, they call them. They go from the main hoop to where the subframe's at. Now, a lot of guys, when they do these cars, they have these through the floor subframe connectors. We don't have those. We have them underneath. I got subframe connectors. I welded those ones in already previously. So I just gotta make up my mind where I'm gonna land this thing, because we gotta weld it to a 6x6 plate, which here's one over here. Let's put that in place. Don't mind me. The battery's about to die. Great. So we're gonna end up something like that with a little more centered. I'm not sure where we're gonna be yet. I got some fabbing up to do yet. I'm gonna have to shorten this bar if I want to have it up here because it's a lot stronger when you can kind of tie into this back plate here. But that is where we're at for today. We still gotta do our swing outs. We gotta put our dash back in. We gotta notch it. We gotta paint everything. Whole lot to do yet, but we are definitely making progress. It's looking pretty good. I like the nice shiny bars from the front, but I don't know how the heck we're gonna paint that unless we take out the windshield. So we will tackle that another time. Okay guys, we are back. Another beautiful day here in the shop. We are nearing the end of this roll cage here. We got a couple more finishing touches we're gonna go over here, but we got our harness bars in, door bars, halo, all the stuff is done. It is all final welded. I actually got some unfortunate news on these down bars and the way we went about them. I talked to a guy that builds cages for a living, or at least he did, and I must have got lots of communication, but regardless, I'll lay this out for you guys. So this is a chromoly cage, okay? You have to TIG weld all the joints. So I knew that going into it. I read the NHRA book. We were good to go. I was like, okay, fine, I got a TIG welder, let's go. But I was like, well, wait a minute, can I still at least MIG weld the down bars to the plates that go on the floor of the car? Now, don't judge that, but see how we MIG welded this to there. And I asked a fella that used to build cages for a living. He's like, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. So we did it all, and I was emailing pictures to an NHRA cert guy because had some questions about some gusseting for the lower door bars where I couldn't fully weld it. So there's a rule to where if you can't, excuse me, let me restart here. So there's an exception. If you cannot fully weld a joint, you can gusset it on each side of the tube as long as you have 75% of the joint welded. You can make up that other 25% with 2 gussets on the other side of the joints. So obviously we can't do that for the door bars. Emailed the NHRA guy back and forth, but he's like, hey, make sure you're TIG welding that. I'm like, okay, yeah, but what about the down bars? He's like, yes, that must be TIG welded to the plates, then the plates can be MIG welded to the floor of the car. So that was a big kick in the balls. Fully welded all the cage to the floor of the car already. We've been working on this thing for about 3 months, or not 3 months, 3 weeks, feels like 3 months. So kind of at a crossroads. So we can run up to a 10.0 with this cage being uncertified with this car. I plan on running a 1050 class this first year with the supercharger we got, and I'm going to revamp it later on. So in order to try to get this car done so it doesn't become like a multi-year project, we're just going to finish it up and keep rolling with it, okay? So I know it's not ideal. Obviously, we like to TIG weld to get the thing certified and so we can run up to 850, but this car is not going to run at 850 in the current setup. So it is perfectly safe. It is fine to run it the way it is. They let people run to 6-point cages up to 10.0. This is an 8-point cage, fully welded. It is plenty structurally sound. It is safe. So we're not going to get that NHRA chassis cert like we were really hoping for. So not a big deal because we're not going to be able to exceed that limitation just yet. So enough of that little spiel. Kicking the balls, just saying. Make sure you guys absolutely do all of your research. Just any question, just email the NHRA cert guys. Go to their website, go to your district. There's a list of like 9 guys for your district. Just talk to them. Super cool guys. I talked to 2 of them, try to get them to come out here so we can get this thing certified, but obviously we are past that point now. So back to what we are doing today. We are going to be installing our beautiful billet swing outs. It's going to go right here, and one goes down there, just like that. I went ahead and did the other side, just so I could feel it out before I recorded it, so I didn't struggle like a son of a bitch in front of you fellas. So my TIG welding is getting a little bit better. Still pretty hot here, just finished it up, but basically that'll allow us to, this thing swings out, that side bolts in, so we can just unbolt that and we can take out these door bars when we're just like street cruising, so we're not crawling over these things this whole time. Because tell you what, after doing this cage, I think I've crawled over those door bars about 100 times each, and my joints are killing me. So big value having these swing outs here. You just pop this thing back in. It's kind of hot right now because I just got done welding this side up a little bit. getting better with our TIG welding. Obviously, we are not a professional fabricator shop, but we are figuring it out. So, first things first, we need to go ahead and mock out where we want these to be. I'm gonna mirror that side. Come in here, mark this out with a Sharpie, chop it off, put it over here. We're gonna put it on our chop saw on our fab table, and then we'll get these mocked up, get these fitted up, and we'll start welding them in. Okay, we got our bar cut out of there. We have our swing outs where we want them to be. Went ahead and fit this up there and marked how much we got cut out there. So let's go ahead and get it set up on the chops over here, and we'll get that cut off flush. We'll go ahead and get this cleaned up, and we'll get set up in the car, and we'll have to shim a little bit, kind of shave off some, make sure everything's fitting right, then we'll get her tacked in place. If any of you guys are ever cutting any of this tubing, I highly recommend this deburring tool. I think it was like $11 on Amazon for this one. I made a bunch of different ends on here. But you take this and you run around the inside of the tube like this, and it gets rid of all the burrs. Well, most of them. Just like that, so it's not so dangerous when you're working on it. It's not going to get absolutely everything, but it'll get a good bit. It's pretty easy and cheap. Okay, she is tacked in place, still loose. Pop out. Ta-da! And then just slap that pin back in, ready to go racing. Look at that. All right, so we'll go ahead and pop this out of the bottom. We'll put this on the bench so we can fully weld this as nice as we can, and then I put a couple more tacks here just to try to keep everything straight, because as we weld this stuff and as it heats and constricts, it's going to pitch it a little bit, so it might change it a little bit, but we can pull out these holes to make sure everything swings nice and easy, that way we're not fighting. And we want this to kind of just be butter. You know, last thing we're going to do when you're all the way harnessed in here, reaching over trying to pull this pin and it's getting stuck. So we'll try to keep it as nice as we can. Okay guys, we are set up here on the bench. We got this bar laid out here. I'll try to set you guys where you can see me do a little bit of tigging here on the bench. Hopefully these welds turn out a little bit better than we've been seeing. But it's kind of nice when you just get on the bench and, you know, use the foot pedal, feed it nice and easy, being comfortable, as opposed to being in that car and when you're using the button, you can't control your amperage as easily as you can with the foot pedal. Let's go through and make sure we got all this stuff clean. Alright, beautiful. As Darren was saying, don't forget your ABCs. Always be comfortable. Which is impossible when you're in the car, but we are here on our welding bench. I'm very thankful to have. Make sure gas is flowing, amps are set. Let's run some beads. Lovely. Hey, that's pretty blue. Check that out. Not too shabby. That side is insanely hot. I'll make sure I don't melt my shit down here. You'll come back through and let's go ahead and bust out this side. Fit up isn't nearly as good over here. So I'll opt for a little bit bigger wire. Yeah, got a little bit of gappage to fill. No big deal. Boom. Look at that. After welding in the car for 3 weeks, it sure is nice to get on the table here. That is 1,000 times better than any welds we did there in the car. Still, I am not saying I am a professional by any means, but I'm happy with that. Very nice. It's kind of cool. Got the pretty colors and the heat into it. Woo. A little crooked. You know what? We'll focus on that one spot right there. That looks pretty nice. I'm happy. But she is done. So we'll let this cool off and we'll plop her in the car here. And yeah, we'll catch up with you guys after that. Alright guys, hopefully you can hear me over the rain, but we got our door bar in there fully welded. And if we did everything right, it should slide right into place just like that. Drop in our pin and boom. Easy as that. That's gonna be super nice when we're at the track. Or when we're actually, it's gonna be nice when we're street driving this thing, because I'm just gonna pop out these pins. I'm gonna take out that bolt at the bottom. We're just gonna take these bars out of the car. We're just like driving around, cruising around, you know, going to car shows, whatever it is we're doing. But once we get to the track, we can just toss in these bars and just drop in the pin, and we are good to go. Nice and safe, really rigid car. So actually, we got that weld right there is the last weld of our roll cage. We are officially done with this thing. We still gotta cut the dash and get that tossed in there, but as far as the roll cage, we are fully welded all the way around. That was 3 grueling weeks. I mean, this thing was, it's a pain. It's my very first roll cage we've ever done. Definitely a learning experience. Hopefully the next one will go a bit smoother, because I know we got some plans for the dumpster fire, I think, coming up here before too long. But if you guys are intimidated and just want to do this something, or kind of think whether you want to get into something like this, all I can say is just get out there and do it. You guys are going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. I mean, your first roll cage, just like this one, it's not perfect, and it's okay. You guys are going to learn something. You're just going to get better over time. All I can say is just, whatever it is you're out there, think about doing. Don't let all these guys in the comment section or everything else you guys see out there hating on it deter you from going out there and do something you really want to do. All I can say is just get out there and start. You guys will get better and better. But that is going to wrap it up for us today on this video. Get out there, get wrenching, have some fun. We'll catch you guys on the next one.